ritmo fatal. La bomba. Alarma.
And can you hear me? Let me know down below if you can hear me, because then we got 50% of this little show going. But first of all, let me know how you lovely, lovely, sexy people are doing. And don't forget, this stream is only for the sexy looking people.
This dance ain't for everybody. Only the sexy people.
So I'm sorry guys for being a little bit late, but you know, better late than never. And today I want to go over a few news, and then I do want to emphasize what we've actually been talking about a little bit here the last few streams, and also launched a new video today about Arbitrum. You see, a lot of, let's say, the question is always what is going to trigger the third cycle, right? So, you know, the last cycle, it was DeFi, right? It was the evolution of decentralized finance. And I actually think that one of the main drivers is going to be the layer 2 race. I actually think this is going to be the next big thing in crypto. So we're going to continue a little bit about this comparison about the layer 2 protocols, and gonna do, you know, a little bit of a comparison between Polygon and Arbitrum and Optimism. And in case you don't know, tomorrow we will then also upload a new video about Optimism. And then of course we're gonna do a little bit of news, and that's all I got to say about that. So let's get started because we got things to do, and I think it goes a little something like this. I want to welcome you to Crypto Never Sleeps. In case you're new to this channel and you want to stay on top of the crypto world, well then please hit like, smash and subscribe so that you can be notified every time we upload new videos, so that you can, and this is important to me, protect your wealth, preserve your wealth, and ultimately increase your wealth. My name is Nico Arachi, and I'm the host of the littlest crypto channel on the interweb. So first things first, let's see if you guys even want to enjoy me down here. I'll be down here in the corner. So what are we? We're looking. We are up 2.9%. I mean, it looks good like that, right? 2.9% to Bitcoin, above the 30,000. And we will talk about Bitcoin, but I think it's around 30,000. Obviously, it's a symbolic figure, even though we are still 56% below Bitcoin's all-time high. But I think it's going to go sideways for a while in order to solidify the 30,000. That will then act as resistance and both as a floor and a ceiling, and we'll probably then go higher from there. So we got Ethereum above 2,000. I like 30,000 Bitcoin, 2,000 Ethereum, and what do we have with Cardano? 44 cents on the dollar, up 1.6%, and DOT 6.8 up 3%. And when we look at the charts, of course, as always, they look pretty similar. Not completely, but similar as always. So let's look at Bitcoin on the weekly. I mean, nothing really changed since we saw each other yesterday, right? Especially not when we look at the weekly. So I think there's not so much to. I don't know about this chart here. Never is the way it's supposed to be. We're still above the 7-day moving average, so I really think that there's not so much more there to talk about if we look at it like that. And the volume, yeah, that's the only thing that's maybe. That it was, yesterday that worried me a little bit. We can see the volume. That in the last 4 weeks, we're really seeing very, very low volume. But nevertheless, as long as we're going up, that means, on the other hand, it means that there are not many sellers, right? I mean, look at this here. You can see it when I'm gone. So we can see it the last 4 weeks, very little volume, but actually been pushing the price up good. You see here we got lots of volume here. That was in the week of 13 March that we got that big jump. But nevertheless, I think it's positive. I think things are good, so I'm optimistic. Let's first look here. What does the overall market say? 1.2 trillion. I mean, it is nice that we're also going above the 1, right? And overall, I mean, scroll down and it's just nice. It's up green. I don't think there's so much here to say about the coins. So what do we got here? That's interesting. What do we have? Okay, Theta Network up 11%. Very nice. Remember, Theta Network, the infrastructure when it comes to decentralized streaming. We've been holding Theta for a long time and very optimistic that it's going to be a big part of the Web3 infrastructure. Synthetics up 9. Nice to see on the day. So you see, what is also nice to see today is that we are not seeing all the coins moving up with the same amount, right? Sometimes when we either do those flash crashes or when we are seeing the market with its volatility, it's very often that we see the entire top 200 coins moving identically in terms of how many percentage they go up and down. I always say that shows that it's an immature market, but here today we can see it's a little bit different across the board. Gala up 11%, good to see that. Anyway, let's see who's in the chat and let's move on to the news, because we got things to get through. Who is here? We got 13 people. I mean, it is amazing. Is it because I'm 15 minutes late, or is it because it's Tuesday? Or is it simply because these streams are too boring? Anyway, it's good to see who is here. 13 Lions. We got Blockchain Bully. We got Dan, Wall Street Bets, always around panels. Good to see you. And Tony. Kitty's here too. Wow, Kitty hasn't been here for a while. Ivan, 1381. Welcome to this little show of ours. And Simon, good evening. Good to see you. Where are you from? See, it's almost like everybody is here. I know them per first name. So welcome. And you can see our chat is very, very populated with admins. Anyway, let's go in and get on with the news. Now, I like, as we have been talking about here a few times in the recent month, we've been talking about Wyckoff, right? And I think that the Wyckoff model is really displaying where we are in the market, right? Currently, I believe, this is the accumulation, the phases, right? And if we compare that to the weekly Bitcoin chart, we can see here very much that it illustrates the E phase. And I'll just read that again in case you were not here yesterday. So it's a good indication, I feel. So what is the phase E? Is when the coin market or the stock leaves the trading range, demand is in full control, and the markup is obvious to everyone. Now, when the markup is obvious, when we saw that here with Bitcoin, right? You see Bitcoin here. This was the week where we really had this push up, right? Where we left basically the trading range of 25,000 behind us. So that's, I suppose, what Wyckoff means with demand is in full control and the markup is obvious to everyone. Setbacks such as shakeouts and more typical more typical reactions are usually short-lived. New higher level trading ranges comprising both profit taking and acquisition of additional coins, shares, reaccumulation, mostly by large operators, and that can occur at any point in phase E. So if we're really to believe this, then we could see some, going down a little bit, going maybe back maximum, I think around 27,000. And then I think we are going to see large operators that will then enter again. So these trading ranges, as we are seeing here in the phase E, are sometimes called the stepping stones because we are on the way to even higher price targets. So let me know also what you think about this Wyckoff model. Do you believe in this? I actually think there's something to it. I also remember when we were timing the market, we were very much speaking about when will we hit the bottom, right? We did that almost all year last year. And isn't it nice now in 2023 we can talk about when we potentially could see the next all-time or new all-time high of Bitcoin. And if we compare that to the historical bull markets, we can see from 2010 to 2013, around 1,400 days. 13 to 17, around 1,400 days. I don't want to make it too long in case you have seen this slide. I just like always to point it out because in 2017 to 2021, we had also around 1400 days. So we could expect 2025 being the year where I believe the Bitcoin could go to somewhere between 200 to 250,000. And there we will, of course, then also, if Wyckoff's model still going to, be valid, it will be then of course, it is the challenge to be able to enjoy the potential until we're gonna, get up to the extreme highs where the large operators are actually going to offload their coins to new retail investors. That's basically how that cycle runs. And until now, we've been pretty good in timing the market. So what are some of the news that I want to go through with you guys today? Not with optimism first. I wanted, actually, that was interesting. Also, our good friend Ron Jeremy yesterday, he pointed out that there's not been a lot of talk about the IMF CBDC. And actually last week, we were talking because, and there was, we thought that this was official, that the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, were going to launch a CBDC. However, today, very recently today, they came out that the IMF, they have released a statement saying that that they are not involved in the so-called central bank digital currency project Unicorn. So, yeah, the DCMA acknowledges that IMF has not officially endorsed the Universal Monetary Unit, the UMU. So anyway, I just wanted, to point that out. So that's maybe also why it wasn't really picked up by the mainstream media. So also thanks to Ron for pointing that out. So as we've been talking about here the last few days, I guess for some, I would say also for me, I'm not such a technical, programmer, and I always, let's say the blockchain itself can be a little bit abstract for many, especially if you're a new investor. But I really do think that the layer 2 solutions, protocols, are going to be the next big thing in crypto, and I think we've already seen that. So here I wanted to try to make a small comparison between Arbitrum, Optimism, and Polygon, even because it also, who's ultimately going to be the leader. And currently we are seeing, but let's look at the comparison in terms of risk-reward potential. If we go in here, and you can also go to CoinMarketCap, just go in largest blockchains. Now, I know we also spoke about this here, when was it, 2 days ago, but I really think that it's important. I really do think it's important. So what we have here, we see how many here in the first, see how many protocols there are on these various blockchains, and then here the total value locked in, right? And then the market cap. What is important, what you have to pay attention to, is the market cap divided by the total value locked in. So on the right, the lower the number, the better the risk reward potential is. And so we can see here that, obviously Ethereum has 58 billion. On second place, Binance with 5.6 billion. And then we can see on the right the market cap. Now with Arbitrum, for example, right? They have 2.5 billion total value locked in, but their market cap is 2 billion. Now to compare that with Polygon, they only have 1.4 billion total value locked in, but they have a market cap of 10 billion. So we can see here that the number is 7.46. So compared with Arbitrum, it only has, the risk reward potential is much, much bigger. It has 1 billion more in market cap, in total value locked in, but has 5 times less market cap than Polygon Matic. And also, if you look here at Optimism, we can see the total value divided by market cap is even more attractive than Arbitrum. Now, obviously, this is also one thing you should not forget. Optimism, Arbitrum, and Polygon are all I mean, they're layer 2 scaling solutions on Ethereum. So it basically all goes into the Ethereum ecosystem. And as I've said many times, I believe that Ethereum is going to be the settlement layer of the future of finance, of the CBDC. Here there's another chart, and I found this on Token Terminal. And what I like here is, there is this, this line here, where you can see active developers. There's the latest number of distinct GitHub users that made 1+ comments to the project's public GitHub repositories during the past 30 days. So here you can also see what is actually going on in terms of development. And we can see, if we take Ethereum 185, Arbitrum 22, Polygon 40, Optimism 39. So we can also see Optimism has, of these Arbitrum, of these layer 2 on Ethereum, Arbitrum, Polygon, they have the least amount of total value locked in, but they are picking up. And the risk reward potential is also the best here. Funny enough, we can see, so Solana has 84 active developers. Cardano here, 133. Speaking about Cardano, it's funny to go back then to look at the chains, because Cardano has, we have here Cardano. Cardano only has 168 million in total value locked. Obviously, Cardano hasn't really started yet, but it has a market cap of 15 billion. So we can see this number here that we have with Optimism below 1 and with Arbitrum about 1. We can see Cardano is at 89. So actually, the risk reward potential with Cardano, let's say the market cap or the price of Cardano, even though we only at these 44 cents, is very much, people are speculating on future earnings. And the funny thing is, I thought this was the highest, TVL divided by market cap, but there's actually one that's much higher, and that is Stellar, funny enough, with 120. I mean, look at this, Stellar with 138. So they only got 20 million total value locked in, and they got a market cap of 2.79 billion. However, I think Stellar, that's a different thing, not really a DeFi chain. Well, it is but more transaction. Anyway, so now that we have talked about this, I see a lot of potential there. Of course, it's also amount, it comes down to how many protocols are on any of these ecosystems, right? But let's go back to, I mean, I don't know if you know this or don't know this. So, it's a little bit for everybody, right? But mainly if you're a beginner. So Arbitrum and Optimism, they have very recently, 2022, Optimism and Arbitrum got listed here in 2023, at least with their coins. But they have emerged as very strong competitors to Polygon in the market for layer 2 blockchain solutions. So the optimistic roll-up infrastructure is aimed at capturing the market share of its counterpart. And in the beginning, only layer 1 blockchain technologies like Bitcoin and Ethereum existed in the crypto world, right? So these base layers, also known as a mainnet, were the only option for users to use. However, as we have seen, the demand for cryptocurrencies has been growing, and the need for scalability and transaction fees of these mainnet blockchains did become a concern. I mean, if you were here in the last cycle, right? I mean, sometimes paying gas fees on Ethereum was a real. I mean, you had to be a whale in order to do the transactions and not, incur too much damage with the gas fees. So, in order to address these issues, crypto companies started building layer 2 blockchains on top of mainnets like Ethereum and Bitcoin. And these layer 2 blockchains, they offer what their capacity is to offer greater flexibility and scalability than the layer 1 counterparts. So given the advantages of the layer 2 blockchains, it has of course sparked a race among crypto companies to become the top layer 2 solution in the market. Now currently it looks like Arbitrum and Optimism, they have the potential to challenge Matic's market position, even though that Polygon has been around for the longest. So I took this from a specific article, and they claim it's mainly due to the fraud-proof technology inherent in optimistic rollup, which could provide Arbitrum and Optimism with a competitive edge, and position themselves as a Matic killer. Now, when it becomes a little more technical, and if you really want to educate yourself what this is all about, well, then you should go to ethereum.org, and then you can go in there, and they will, you can go to scaling, and here they're exactly explaining optimistic rollups. See, Arbitrum and Optimism, they are optimistic rollups, and Polygon is actually a zero knowledge rollup. Now, I don't even know if I was going to explain this here, if that's really, you would understand the way I understand it. And based on the reviews and what I've gotten out of it is that it seems that they both have a right to exist, depending on what the protocol really needs. So, but having said that, if we look at the value locked in on Polygon and we look at the market cap, it seems to me that Arbitrum and Optimism simply just have the better risk-reward potential. Now remember, everything I say and do here is not financial advice, because I really don't know shit about crypto. Now I wanted to do this one here. So, some other news here. Gnosis, they're spending $5 million on validator incentive program for decentralization. Gnosis is another good coin. We're not really holding Gnosis, but we love it. So so we can also see across the board that they are really investing into expanding the ecosystem, right? What else do we have here? UnChain raised $60 million to offer collaborate custody Bitcoin services. So UnChain, the financial service provider for Bitcoin holders, has announced $60 million in Series B funding, and that was a round led by Valor Equity Partners. This is just another example of how much money is being poured into the ecosystem. The biggest news of all, I guess, is that Twitter is really, Elon Musk, we can say many things, but he sure looks like he is a much smarter businessman than the former owner. Forgot his name. So now we can see the BTC price quotes. They're live on Twitter, and that following the eToro partnership. So on the 18th of April, Twitter rolled out Bitcoin price quotes on its social media platform, which can be viewed using its search tool. This is just good news, right? There's not so much to say. The biggest social platform in the world launching crypto, and yeah, so I think we are early. But I think it's really around the corner before we're going to see, and before we're going to see mass adoption, we're going to see the prices increase handsomely. So what is this? AlphaZero launches a $50 million ecosystem funding program. And the Layer 1 privacy-enhancing blockchain announced that the non-profit AlphaZero Foundation, overseeing its development, aims to support developer teams to build on its platform. I gotta admit, it's hard to keep track of all, let's say, these different protocols, which of them are really going to emerge as a winner or not. But money is being thrown around. What do we have here? CoreDAO partners with BitGit and Mix to launch $200 million ecosystem fund. This is what is CoreDAO? It's an organization committed to the development of the Satoshi Plus ecosystem, and they've introduced this huge fund aimed at speeding up the development of decentralized applications and protocols built on the core Layer 1 blockchain. So it's supported by strategic partners such as cryptocurrency exchanges, BitGit and Mix. Aims to provide financial support to early stage projects. So if you know how to program right now, money is being thrown at you. It doesn't matter, just program a new decentralized exchange number 1010, and they will still throw money at you. Probably not, maybe not for a decentralized exchange, but as long as you can have an idea, commit or add value to the ecosystem, this is, I mean, it's very much like the happy days back in the 1990s when we saw the .com bubble. So that's it for me today. And yeah, I wanted to do it quick because these days I mean I got a lot of things that I need to take care of private. So I'm also I'm gonna, you know, apologize for not always being very consistent, but yeah, I try to do my best, and I think overall we've been able to do good, right? I mean, we have good coins, we timed the market, and I'm gonna be like a little you know, not 100% reliable until June, but I will still try to, you know, do streams 2 to 3 times a week and upload some videos when we can. You look good and fresh. I mean, I look fresh because I got a haircut, you know. It's amazing here. It's amazing here with me, with my hair. As long as I get a haircut, you know, every 2 weeks, then, you know, it just makes me 5 years younger. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Stay strong. And please keep supporting the littlest crypto channel on the interweb. No plan B. We stick together.
You know who has a plan B? The people that lose. That's a fact. The people who go all in. The people who burn the ships and leave themselves no other option but success. Those people are dedicating all their skills, all their resources, all their energy into producing a specific outcome. And if you're competing against someone who's going all in with every resource they have, and you're only going half in because you're half in and you're half out, guess what? You're gonna lose. So you guys out there with your plan B mentality, you need to take that and set it on fire, because all it's gonna get you is more of what you already have. Every single person that wins big, every single person that you look at, every single person that you're inspired by, every single person that you aspire to be like, they only have one plan, and that is they are gonna win or they are gonna die trying. All these people out there talking about, oh, well, if that doesn't work out, I'll just go back to this. Whatever the this is, which happens to be their miserable life they have now, those people always lose.
What's the most important key to success? I think it's hunger. It's not getting satisfied. What matters is hunger. A hunger that doesn't go, a hunger to learn, a hunger to grow, a hunger to serve, a hunger to give, a hunger to create breakthroughs.
Every single day of my life, I feel like giving 100. Somebody said yesterday, E.T., you gave 120. What you gonna do tomorrow? I said, I don't know. Give 140. But I don't have days where I don't feel like it. Why? Because I'm counting on me. My wife's counting on me. My son's counting on me. I don't have days to wait.
You gotta talk like you got power even when you've been through shame. You gotta talk like you got power even when you've made mistakes. You gotta talk like you're getting up even though your bones are still in the valley. You gotta talk like you're going somewhere.
You have to take the hand you've been dealt and make the most of it. Nothing that's happened to you has stopped your destiny. Don't let one bad break, one injustice, one difficult season cause you to be sour. When we go through loss, things we don't understand, that victim mentality will always come knocking at the door. Instead of having a victim mentality, switch over to a victor mentality. That bad break is not how your story ends. The loss, the sickness, the injustice is not going to limit the rest of your life. You didn't like it, but what you can't see is it set you up for double.
What are we gonna eat?